Hey everyone, my name is Guus, that's G-U-U-S, and today I want to talk about the Insta360 GO and the fact that it was obviously created for iPhone users and then only afterwards or briefly adjusted to also be used on Android phones. The only real connector that's on the device itself is the Lightning port. There's no other version for Android users, so if you want to use this camera on your Android phone, you have to use a separate cable connected to this port, which is micro USB, which also shows me that they wanted to kind of play it cheap for Android users, because if you really wanted quicker transfer speeds and everything, you should have just gone for USB Type-C here and also USB Type-C on the other end of the connecting cable. Now it's a cable from micro USB to USB Type-C, which is very unfortunate to me. But the biggest difference is something that also a couple of other YouTubers have pointed out, and that is the differences in the app for the iPhone and the Android devices. So I decided to take this opportunity and I figured I would go and investigate what are the exact differences between the two. So me being at home, I installed the Insta360 GO app on my dad's iPhone as well as on my personal Android device, and I just had a look at some of the differences. I made a list of 6 different things. Now I have put these 6 points in a list going from the least annoying to the most annoying for Android users, that is, and I'm just gonna go over them for you today. Now I also wanted to add a little bit of an extra game. So what I've done is I've hidden 5 Russian or Matruschka dolls in this shot that you're seeing right now. Of course, they vary in size. That's the entire thing about Russian dolls. So let me know in the comments below if you can find all the Russian dolls in this shot and where they are exactly, and I'll let you know if you're correct. But that being said, let's go over the first thing, and that is trim the fat. So on the iPhone app, you have this option to trim the fat. It's just in the options of the Insta360 GO app. And what this is going to do is it's going to cut off like the beginning and the end of the clip if it detects that there's a thumb or some sort of finger in the screen. This is not available at all on the Android app, but at the same time, once you are going to make your stories and you're going to export the video, it takes just as long to cut out the little part that you want, and the trim the fat really doesn't make any difference. So personally, this is really not a big deal for me. Then secondly, there's some different filters that you can use on the iPhone app as well as on the Android app, which are really nice to use and very diverse. You can even use the little slider to change the intensity of the filters. Now on the iPhone app, you also have more manual control, so you can actually adjust the brightness, the contrast, the white balance, I would guess, etc, etc. So you can have a little more control if you're somebody who likes to do this. It's nice, but personally using the filters and using the little intensity slider is enough for me. But yeah, the iPhone app has a little bit more control. Then the third thing is one that's very important to me personally, and also did some testing with this, but luckily there's no difference in video quality between the iPhone app and the Android app. The iPhone app actually exports video files that are bigger than the ones in the Android app, which made me very worried at first when I saw the size, but then I put them side to side, the iPhone and the Android video, and I didn't see any difference at all. So maybe it's a little bit of a win for Android. Sorry, I was interrupted for a second, but let's move on to the fourth point, and that is the ability to select local gallery files, which is an option on the iPhone app, but on the Android app it's not there at all. So on the Android app you can only use the files that you've imported from your Insta360 GO, whereas on the iPhone, even if you don't have the Insta360 GO itself, you can even just use pictures and videos that you've taken with your iPhone and edit them in the app. And then the first to last point is the use of slow motion videos in stories. So when you load in a slow motion video into one of your stories that you're trying to create, it will automatically load this as slow motion on the iPhone app, whereas on Android you actually have to go in and slow it down to 1/4 of the speed before it's gonna show as slow motion. Now on iPhone you're also gonna have the option to replace a slow motion file. So when you go into the options, you can actually swap it out for another video. But at the same time, if you do replace it, you will be stuck to this 1/4 speed, even if the clip you selected does not have actual slow motion footage in it, which causes a little bit of a problem. But at the same time on Android, there's no way to replace slow motion files in your stories. So you can delete it, but you can't actually replace it even with another slow motion video file. And then the most annoying difference between the two apps is that on Android you can't actually remove the videos that you are still using in some of the stories that you've created from the app, which on iPhone you actually can, to clear up some storage. So even though you are using the video in an app, it's gonna cut it up, I guess, and then save only that little snippet. Whereas on Android, it uses the video immediately, but then at the same time, you can't remove the original file that you have, which takes up a lot of storage. So I've often found myself filling up the memory of my Android phone just because I have to keep the entire files, or I have to connect my phone to my laptop, transfer the files over, and then transfer them back when I need them again. But it's just slightly annoying, and personally to me, the most annoying feature of the Android app. So yeah, it is obvious that the iPhone app is slightly better than the Android app. The only real advantage the Android app has is that exported videos have a slightly smaller file size, but it's not that significant at all. So it's unfortunate. Yes, there are some differences between the two apps. The Android app is the lesser option here, but I do think both apps are very functional. They work like they should. And even as an Android user, I am very happy with the Insta360 GO and also with the app that comes along with it. What I think is going on at Insta360 is that they have two separate people or separate teams working on the Android and the iPhone app. And even though they try to mimic each other, there's some fundamental difference between the two apps. They're implemented differently, which I guess makes sense because they're very different infrastructures and architectures, of course, both Android and iOS. But it's unfortunate, and I think they could have worked more closely together in order to generate a more uniform experience among both platforms. But anyway, I hope this video was helpful to you. If it was, please consider liking. If you have any other comments or questions, I can figure it out for you. Just leave your question down below. I will have a look at it and I will provide the answer if I can, of course. Once again, did you find all the 5 Matruschkas or Russian dolls in this shot? Let me know in the comments down below. But that's really all I wanted to tell you today. So thank you so much for watching, and you will see me again in the next video. Bye bye.